We want to welcome you guys to L3 Perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Glenn Davis. I'm sitting here with my guy, Cameron Macias.
It's your boy, Killer Cam.
What's going on, guys? We want to welcome you back to the L3 Perspective, where we talk about life, love, and leadership. My name is Glenn Davis, and I'm sitting here with my guy, Cameron Macias.
Coach Cam, what's up?
Yes, and super excited about this conversation. Cam, I'm going to just toss it over to you so we can dive into it, introduce, and we can go. This is going to be a fun one.
Oh, definitely. Hey, everybody, as per the usual, before we get started, like, share, love, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. We do the podcast for you all to hopefully bring some value. So if there's something that you specifically want us to talk about or someone you want us to talk to, please let us know. That's the whole point that we do this. But so today our guest is Alfredo Torres. So for those of you that know him off of LinkedIn, huge presence where he talks about mental health, mindfulness, helping out veterans, getting jobs, recruiting, all of these things. Prior, Navy veteran, prior radio host, podcast host, we just found out. So that being said, Alfredo, please introduce yourself to the people, and and we'll get it started.
Yes.
Why do I got to introduce myself? You guys already did it. I'm Alfredo Torres, 13-year Navy veteran. I was on the radio. I was as a podcast host. What else I got, man? You guys said it all.
We're about to break it down
beard,
now.
bro. Come on.
Let's see. What else could I add to what you already said? I was homeless when I got out. I was suicidal.
Yeah.
The military did a number on me, but you know what? I made it to the other side.
Yep.
I'm a New Yorker.
Can't tell it all.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but born and raised in the South Bronx back in the day.
Okay.
As you can tell by the gray, I made it a little bit.
There you go.
But a lot of adversity, a lot of strife, a lot of hard times. But you don't quit, and bam, you make it to the other side. And now you see me in my room. I don't know if your peoples could see this, but I got shit, bro, all over. I got that. That's my humidor right there. That's one of about
a cigar, man.
Oh, bro. So I'm doing good now, man. But
good.
But it was a rough ride to get here.
Got you. So we'll navigate that.
Yeah.
I'm big when it comes to navigating through the life piece. So radio host, take us back to that journey. So what kind of inspired you to jump into that?
Well, I don't know your audience. So what inspired me to get the radio was my youth. Now, when I was growing up, I grew up in the 70s. Okay, so AM radio was still playing music. FM was starting to come up. And so the DJs, and they were DJs. They were radio DJs. Now they're radio personalities. But they were back then. They were DJs, and they built a relationship with you. Like I can name all the DJs I used to listen to when I was 10 years old. And I'm 56 now. You know what I'm saying? So that inspired me to have that kind of relationship. When you add that I love music, I got like 4,000 albums. I listen to every genre. And then I love to entertain. Those were the kind of guys back in the day.
Right.
And now today you don't have that. You know? But that's what inspired me to get into radio.
Dope.
Where did you first, work as far as radio stations? Like,
okay,
how was it starting out?
Okay. All right. So I did college radio in Siena College in upstate New York. And then I did college radio over at Nova University in Davie, Florida, and then when I got stationed in Norfolk.
Yeah.
So what happened was there was a station out here, 96X, WROK, and in the 90s it was alternative, and I used to listen to it. Then I went away, came back in the early 2000s. First thing I did was I gravitated to that station.
Yeah.
they had a pair of guys there who were just starting out, and I would call them in. I would call in, and I won. So the first time I called, I started as a caller. Because at this point I'd already given up on my dream. yeah, bro, that's the way. Come on now. But I'd already given up on my dream of doing radio. I really wanted to do it. Never did it. I wanted to do it in the Navy. Yeah. Didn't happen. I wanted to be Robin Williams. Hello, Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam.
Yeah, hey, what's going? Didn't happen. So, 2001, I come back. Go right to 96X. They had flipped formats and then went back to alternative music. So there was this pair of guys there, Mike and Bob, and they would have like things, like topics that you could call in. And they also had contests. So I won a contest to go to a hockey game. Went there, I was just myself, and it was, and it flowed. Next week, won another hockey game ticket, and at that point, they were saying, "Okay, bro, you're coming to every hockey game that we got.
Nice.
You already got a pair." Develop a friendship with them, and then, constantly calling in, constantly being parts of bits and that. And one day, I asked them to go to the radio station. They said, "Come on up."
Yeah,
I did. At that point, I became a regular.
Nice.
And I started going through I got med boarded out of the Navy. So as I was going through the med board, I had a lot of days where I didn't do anything. I'd go up to the station. Yeah. I became a regular part of their show. And then as I was getting ready to get out, they gave me, hey, you want to do radio? I was like, yeah. I've been wanting to do my whole life, man. Right. I've been trying to do this for like 4 decades, bro. I'm all in this. And that started my career, and I did a total of 7 years on the radio. I did 5 years with them, then I got fired for calling the owner of the station a cheap fucking bastard. And no, I didn't do it on the air. If I did it on the air, I probably would still have that job, because then it could have been, this is the DJ against management,
Yeah, you could have spun it.
Right. I could have, but no, he was a cheap fucking bastard. That was that. And then I went to another radio station. Now, I went to another radio station, and they ended up flipping formats. So they were a rock station. They went top 40. I'm not a top 40 guy. And so at that point, they let all their rock DJs go. And that's when I had to give it up, mainly because DJing is a young man's game.
Yeah.
And the Howard Sterns and those guys are few and far between.
Oh, for
sure. At this point, I'm 40 years old. What I call big people bills. I got child support. I got, I got real shit, bro. This ain't.
I like that.
This ain't just. I got to worry about taking, this girl out on Saturday. No, bro, I got to pay. Right. I got to pay child support. I got to pay a car payment. I got real shit.
Yeah.
So and getting into radio, the problem with radio is that you got 8,000 people coming out of school who will do it for $10 an hour for the experience.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I can't live in an apartment at this point at 40 years old with 4 other guys who are worried about getting laid and got tons of pizza boxes and beer cans and walk around their underwear playing in the I don't have the time for that, man. So I had to give it up, and that hurt. That hurt because that was my dream.
I bet.
And then I went to podcasting. That's a whole nother story.
That's a message in itself, like being able to, or having to give something up that you feel is your dream, your passion, in order to jump to that next thing and just kind of trust and believe.
Well, yeah, you have to, because you know what? Everybody says chase your dreams, and I'm one of them too. Chase your dreams. But in that chasing your dreams, you got to be realistic.
Yeah.
You want to be a baseball player, that's great. But if you're 38 years old, bro, you're not gonna. This ain't the natural, bro. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the natural, bro. That was a movie. So you got to be realistic and realize that sometimes the physical prowess is past.
Yeah.
The ability to make money or need money supersedes the ability to go chase the happiness. You know, so at that point, that's what happened with me in radio.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that been in my my best friend, my longest friend. We've been friends since the second grade. Funny enough, baseball player. Played on the traveling teams growing up. You know, went overseas. Played in college. All those things. Messed his shoulder. He's a pitcher. Messed his shoulder up in college. Got it fixed. And you know, one of his dreams was obviously to be in the MLB. And he eventually got his shot to try out for, I think, the AA team that goes for the A's.
Sure.
And you know, he did it, and they said, all right, work on these things and then come back. And so he started working on them. And then same thing, he was like, I'm not going to be able to keep this up and like support my family and like, and all these things. And realistically, how many years of this am I really going to be able to keep up with if I have to do all this just to get like a second interview, you know?
Right.
And so he had to make that tough decision too, because I remember when he started, he was really excited, and at the end, he's like, you know what, I had to be real with my situation and where I was at, and understand I was lucky enough to even go do that tryout.
Sure, and that's part of it. You know, is where can you say you were successful? Right. For me, during the time that I was on radio, again, that was my dream from when I was a kid. I was homeless during that time.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't making enough money, and the money that I made had to go to child support, right?
Yeah.
So for years, I considered myself a failure until it was about, I don't know, I was maybe 7 or 8 years out of radio at this point. 5 or 6 years. And I'm leaving Facebook. Right?
Yeah.
Because Facebook had become so toxic, and with my PTSD and my anxiety, my depression, I couldn't deal with it. Right? So, because I had a lot of my listeners as Facebook friends,
okay.
I would go and I said, hey, listen, man, I'm done at the end of the week. If you want to catch up with me, you know, hit me up on Messenger. Yeah. And this girl hit me up. And she goes, Alfredo, Torres, because they used to call me Torres. She goes, Torres, you don't know me, but I wanted to thank you. And I said, what for? She said, when you were on the radio one day, I had called you, and I requested a record. And you heard something in my voice, and you stayed on with me for 25 minutes talking. And what you didn't know was I was going to kill myself that night.
Wow.
Oh.
And because you took the time to stay with me and talk with me, you didn't know. You didn't have to. You could have just said, "Okay, great, I'll." But you heard in my voice because you said something about it. You made a difference. And today, I got 2 beautiful little girls. Blah blah blah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And that's when I had to reevaluate what success was.
Yeah.
So did I ever make the big money? No, because I'd still be doing radio.
Right.
Yeah.
But I did what I wanted, which was I wanted people to remember me as part of their childhood, the way I remember DJs from my life. Right. So here I've been out since 2010, right? So we're talking 13 years. I still get people coming up. And now it's funny when they go, oh, my God, you're Alfredo Torres. I used to listen to you, you know, when I was growing up, when I was in high school. I'm like, you know, what you mean when you were in high school, motherfucker? What the hell? I ain't that old. You're like married with 4 kids now. Shit, man, you know.
Don't do that to me, bro.
Right. But I made that impact. You know, I affected people's lives. And that was when I reevaluated what success was. Did I live my dream? Yes. Did I make an impact? Yes. Did I get to do it the way I wanted to? Yes.
Yeah.
So I didn't make the big money. That's fine. Check in the box. You know, I did it.
Yeah. You still won.
Yeah.
You still won.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? And that's the way to look at it. Like your boy. Did he get the shot? Yeah. Right? How many people don't ever get the shot?
Yeah.
And, you know, if he had a little bit more time, then maybe yes, maybe no. But as we get older, and you guys and Glenn, before we started, they told me you were retired, and I'm looking at you like, retired from what? From high school? Because you look like a baby.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right?
saying?
I look older than he does,
Right.
and he's like,
You know what I'm saying?
6 years older than
I'm like, yo, Cam, what? I was looking at this like, what is this? Bring your child to school to work
Right.
day or something?
Who's this JB
This is-
guy?
I'm,
on the
I'm,
team?
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm his
you know what
mentor. This is,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know this was gonna be a big brother, big sister thing, and
bring your little brother
bring
to
your
school
little
today.
brother
Yeah,
to
you
work.
know?
Yeah.
But the thing is, this is something you can speak to. That as you get older, your priorities change.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You know, your desires change, your wants change, your needs change.
Oh yeah.
You know, when I was in radio, I was out in the bar scene every night.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I was drinking a bottle of Jack a night 5 nights a week.
Mhm.
And somehow I'm not an alcoholic. I don't know how. Because when I went out the first time after I'd been done with radio, and I drank like I was still getting these drinks for free. And that $300 bar tab came up.
Right.
I was like, oh no, and I stopped drinking. That was it.
Right.
I was just like, no, I'm done, man.
Cold turkey.
Bro, I was just like, how much? No, I'm good.
Nope.
I'll have a
Right.
water with lemon, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was then. You know, here I am in my mid 50s. I don't want to go
Yeah.
out. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to chase women. I don't want
Right.
to drink. I ain't got nothing to prove. I
Yeah.
got nothing to prove to you. I got nothing to prove to them.
Facts.
I'm good. You know, so things change. And so when you add the fact that I did live my life, I hit my dream, I'm good. I didn't need to make Howard Stern money to sit there and say I was successful
Oh,
in
yeah.
radio.
Right.
Facts.
So your boy, getting the tryout.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? That's more than a million other kids who had that dream got.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned something. Actually, you mentioned a lot in there that was powerful. And again, that's one of the things I love about us being able to talk to people on this platform, and they're sharing their stories, and people listening in to be like, man, I can relate to that. I can learn from that, just because I've seen them kind of get through and push through that barrier.
Right.
You had mentioned about the environment, like you got off Facebook, right, because of that environment. And so one of the things I want to highlight with that to our listeners is that sometimes it's important for you to recognize the environment that you're in, and if it's toxic, you need to remove yourself from that environment, right? That's number one. The other thing that you talked about was you related the Navy and the PTSD. Like, there's a lot of people who deal with PTSD.
Yeah.
Military, non-military, parents, all
Right.
that. Could you speak on I know mental health is big for you. Can you speak briefly on the mental health piece, on why that's important?
So you retired from the Air Force, right, Glenn? Okay,
Right.
Cam, you're still in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, are you getting ready to get out?
I got 3.5 years till I'm
Okay,
eligible to
so
retire.
I'm going to say something that Glenn can totally get, and Cam, you might be on the edge of being able to understand this. Okay. For right now, I'm not going to talk about PTSD. I'm going to talk about you getting out. Now, the military tells us you do your 20, you get your MBA, you get your PMP, you get the GS-13 or the contractor job. You hang up the uniform on Friday. Monday, you come in on the other side of the office. If you did that, you transitioned. That's what the military says.
Correct.
However, Glenn knows now the stress and anxiety of transitioning goes far beyond the getting a job.
Yeah.
Right? So as senior leaders, as veterans, if you're a combat veteran, let's throw that in.
Right.
If you're a minority, we'll throw that in, only because minorities have certain very machismo cultures, like us Puerto Ricans,
Right.
you know. So let's throw, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
so let's throw that in. Let's throw again senior leader or officer in, and now you've got a person who is a go-to person,
Yeah.
a person who can't show weakness, who can't show worried that they're worried, can't show that they can't say the words "I don't know,"
Right.
right? And if you're a woman, add even more to that, because if I can't complain, you sure as hell can't complain, because
Yeah.
this is still a man's military, whether we want to admit it or not, right?
Yeah.
So, what happens as you're going through that transition? The stress, the anxiety, the depression. You're losing your identity.
Yeah.
You know, you're in the military, whether it's 4 years or 30 years.
Right.
Yep.
As an adult, that's all you know, right? You graduate 18, bam, you do your 4 years. All you know as an adult is the military. You do 30 years, that's really all you know.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. For sure.
So now you lose your rank, you lose your title, you lose your position. Now who the hell are you? Now you Glenn. I don't know what you were in the Air Force. I know you were master sergeant. I don't know if you were corporal. I mean, a colonel. You Glenn.
Right.
Yep.
And the thing on top of that is I don't give a shit
Right.
Yep.
who you were.
Right.
You know, I didn't jump on here and Cam say, oh yeah, this is, you know, Colonel so and so, and I popped tall, gave you some. No, bro. I'm like, hey, what's up, Glenn?
Right.
Now that could be a huge issue for you
Right.
if you haven't gotten some humility.
Oh, for sure.
If you haven't gotten to that point where you realize, you know, these eagles go away.
Right.
These birds go away. You know,
Right.
these chevrons go away. Ain't nobody calling me Master Chief or Sergeant Major or Colonel or
Right.
Yeah.
nobody's calling me any of that anymore. They're calling me
Yeah.
Alfredo.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and now add to that you're gonna go, if you get a job, you're gonna probably go work for somebody younger than you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so there's a lot of shit that plays into it, and we keep our mouths shut.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't accept it. We don't want to acknowledge it. And when we do it to our peers,
Yeah.
right? So in the Navy, if you're E7 and above, they call you a chief. Chief has the chief's mess. We call it the goat locker, right? So if you're a chief, senior enlisted leader, and you're having these issues, well, you're talking to other chiefs about it,
Right.
right? Who are having the same issues. So you got that support group.
Right.
But you're not talking to anybody outside of that.
Yeah.
And even when
Yeah.
you're talking to the chiefs, you're only showing a little,
Yeah.
you know? And now you get outside. And this is when you realize they say 1 to 3% of the military, that the population of the United States is 1 to 3% of the military. 300 million people, it ain't nothing. Now, we don't see that because we're on bases.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to tell me Norfolk Navy bases, I'm 1 to 3% when if I fart, I stained 8 uniforms behind me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
But you get away from here,
Yeah.
guess what? Yeah, that 1-3, you know, you go out to Roanoke out west in Virginia, and now all of a sudden you went from, 500,000 veterans and active duty service members to 6.
Yeah.
Who the hell are you going to talk to?
Yeah.
You know, so all of that stuff, we keep pushing down and we keep pushing down. We keep pushing down because we got to show that strength to our family. We got to show that strength to our friends. And then all of a sudden, you wake up one day and your daughter knocks over a glass of milk, and now you're flipping the table over and you're kicking the dog.
Yeah.
You know, and you say, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're going to blow up.
Right.
Now throw on PTSD to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is where it becomes an issue. Now, I said it earlier, I didn't kill myself. I mean, I was suicidal, and I went to kill myself twice. And I did it. And part of it, I give it I give it up to growing up in the South Bronx in the 70s and the early 80s.
Right.
And to me, I was in a lot of pain, but I didn't know there was any other life. Like this is life.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know? And so I forced myself to kind of just deal with it. And then once I realized, hey, you know, I got issues, issues, and and I started to get help for it, and I started to realize it, and work on it. Shit turned around.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a mentor on a site called Veterati. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it.
I know about Veterati.
But right, but there's a you know, if you were to look me up on Veterati, everybody's got a tagline. Mine is, I did everything wrong during transition, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because that was the way I could, in hindsight, I could see that.
Yeah.
You know, and all of the shit that I did, all of the beliefs I had, led to that mental health issue. Along with my PTSD, but even if I didn't have PTSD, I still would have had mental health issues because of the fact that I didn't seek help.
Right.
Yeah.
When it was still manageable. I didn't, my pride.
Right.
You know, my pride and my ego. Two worst, you know, two worst things that you could have, because that's what keeps you from seeking help.
Yeah.
You know, so that, you know, that was the mental aspect of it. So now, well, I had worked for a while with the Virginia Department of Veteran Services as a transition counselor. And look, you could find 8,000 people on your neighborhood who could help you with a resume.
Yeah.
But how many people are talking to you about the fact that you know what, you're worried.
Right.
You're worried, and you ain't telling anybody. You're sitting there saying, okay, yeah, I get a job. It's going to be okay. You're not. You know that. And I know that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if I say it, you know you're not alone. And you might not say it in the room,
Yeah.
but you might be going, hey, Alfredo, can I talk to you in a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, you know, man, I really relate to what you were saying, man. I just, I don't want anybody to know. Yeah, hey, bro.
Yeah.
You know, we'll keep it between us.
Right.
Yeah.
But Cam, you follow me on LinkedIn, so you know, Glenn. Yeah, I get it. You were, you know, you enlisted or an officer?
I was enlisted.
Oh, okay.
I was
so
an E7. I retired as an
so
E7.
Okay, well, I was an E5, so I know I'm below you, so you might not be following me. But what I'm saying is, I'm very open about everything.
Yeah.
About my
That's awesome.
about my suicides, about my homelessness. I was sexually molested. I'm open about all of it,
Yeah.
so that you know if you've got any issues, you know you're not alone.
Yep.
And if you want to come and talk to somebody, you know, I'm not licensed anything, but at least we can talk. And then from there, I can encourage you to go find that licensed person.
Right.
Go find that expert.
Yeah.
And start getting your head right, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, man. You got to get your head right.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need that person that you can, you know, vent to, and where they can kind of direct you to that licensed individual.
Oh yeah. It's all perspective. Like, so I'm a recruiter, and so, you know, everyone knows, like, we get ran through it, like, and, you know, especially right now after COVID and stuff like that. And I remember, and I was telling Glenn, like, I took a really big break from a lot of things for a long time, because I did go through depression. Like, I was really unhappy. Like, I didn't know where I was going. I thought I wanted to be a recruiter when I retired. I realized I don't want to do that when I retire. So what do I want to do? And so I guess I kind of hit that anxiety really early on.
Sure.
And so, but that was one of the things, is like, I had to figure out. And I remember, I was talking to another recruiter one day, and he's like, yeah, man, like, he had one top recruiter for the state or whatever. And, he said, yeah, man, you're next. And I was like, no, I'm not. And he said, what do you mean? He said, but you're killing it. You're a bulldog. I said, yeah, but look at your stress level and look at my stress level. I say, you just put in 60 people this year, and they give you a pat on the back and a crystallized award that said, "Good job, buddy."
Right.
And I said, I put in 24 people this year, still overproduced per the standard. I got my high five, but my quality of life was so much, and we get paid the exact same. Yeah. I said, so tell me, what was the goal really here? And the funny thing is now I have gotten a position promoted to E7, while unfortunately he's still in that same position where there's this huge goal that he has to get to every year and gets his high five at the end, right? And that was a really funny moment because I had worked really hard and got for the high fives thinking that it was going to work out, and it didn't. And it was only honestly when I relinquished control of that, like, I'm going to take care of myself more than I'm going to take care of this stuff. As long as I'm doing what I'm paid to do, so no one can yell at me. But I'm going to take care of what I need to do, so I'm getting the paycheck that I deserve. But every extra little effort is going to go towards me and my family.
Yeah, and it should.
And that's when everything was like. Then I was just like, ain't that some ish?
Yeah, bro, it is. How you going to tell me that I could curse and then you go ish? You just made me look like an asshole, bro. You just made me look like a big ass.
Ain't that some shit?
You know what? I'm out, bro. Fuck this. I'm out. I ain't
so I usually
man. Y'all gonna...
I curse a lot, but Glenn doesn't, so it like makes me think
of
it.
Why didn't you tell me that?
He doesn't care.
I just don't do it on camera.
Yeah.
I'm always me. I'm always me 100%.
Okay.
I just, but I do want to say, Alfredo, I appreciate you sharing all of that.
Yeah.
The last couple minutes of what you said, because I can relate in so many ways, as you mentioned, as far as like, you hang up that uniform and now, not that I ever lost my identity, but I see so many people around me going through that transition that have lost their identity. But however, sometimes you catch yourself, yelling at your kids or yelling at whoever. And so, like I said, I could relate 100%. And then you have to come back and check yourself.
Yeah.
But again, for me, it was, I think one of the things that have helped me is that I have great people around me that hold me accountable and that can check me, and I'm okay with being checked. You know what I mean? Because I know it's out of respect and love. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you sharing that, because so many people can relate.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that it sounds to me like you did was you started letting go of your ego early.
Yeah.
And so when you were able to transition out, your whole identity wasn't
correct, right?
Military, and that's important because once you're out and you've lost that identity, now you start to really second guess yourself, and now you start to have the imposter syndrome, and you start to have all of these things that really, really, really eat at you and eat at your. At you as a person, and at you as a man, and at you as a husband, and at you as a brother, and at you, it eats at all of this stuff. And if you're not humble enough to have realized that getting out of the military, it's getting out of high school all over again.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah.
Because you work your way up to be, a senior, and all the girls are kissing your ass, and all the guys are like, get out the way. And then what happens? You graduate, and now you ain't shit.
Right.
Didn't you graduate last year?
Right. It's the same. It's the same thing in the military, right? You work hard, and you catch a couple breaks, and now all of a sudden you're the senior, right? And now you leave, and where you going? Where you going?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So so there's a lot of that, and Cam, you said you're about 3.5 years from getting out. Now is the time for you to start working on your retirement.
Oh, I mean,
it ain't 6 months before you get out, like everybody thinks.
Yeah.
You start now, and understanding that. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay, you say you don't know. That's all right. I didn't find out what I wanted to do till I was 50. You know what I'm saying? So you got that time to ask the questions. You got the time to to get the credentials you need once you figure it out. You got the time to pay down your bills right?
Oh,
so
yeah,
that you
that's
can
a
get
big
as
one.
close, to debt free as possible. Why is that important? That's important because that's the difference between doing a job you have to do
Yep.
and doing a job that you love,
Yeah.
that makes you happy. Let's say again, you're a recruiter, right? So let's say that you were top notch recruiter, right? But you say you don't want to recruit. So now you're getting ready to get out. You still got all of this, you got all these bills, and you got. So what do you got to do? You got to get a job with what you're best at.
Yeah.
That's recruiting. So now you don't want to do it, but that's where you're gonna make the most money, right?
Yeah.
But let's say you wanted to be a painter. You ain't gonna make a lot of money being a painter. You ain't Picasso. You know what I'm saying? But
You don't know me.
I don't. You know what? You're right. You're right, Camp Picasso. My bad. My bad. I don't know where I was. But the thing is, let's say you could make a living doing that, right? You're not gonna blow away the world, but you make enough to take care of yourself. You got your retirement. You got your disability.
Yep.
Now you're gonna be happy.
Oh yeah.
And that's the difference with the quality of life, man. I'm not, you see all of this shit and you hear about, bro, I was homeless. I needed money. I'm not making a killing now. I'm making enough to keep me happy.
Yeah.
And that's all I want.
That's all you
That's
need.
all I want. I ain't trying to be a millionaire. I ain't trying to rule the world anymore, man. I got enough.
Yeah.
I got enough problems trying to rule this house with my girlfriend sitting there saying, "You gonna pick this up?" It ain't picking itself up.
Yeah.
You're right, honey. Let me get this. I don't.
I digress.
Right. But you get what I'm saying. It's you start early
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
so that you can work on making connections, work on figuring out what you want to do, work on paying the bills down, work on talking to your significant other on where you want to live.
Yeah.
Because you guys think, everything's going to be great. Hey, I got this job. It pays 6 figures. That's awesome. Yeah, pack your bags because we moving to Iowa. What the? What?
Nope.
No.
Fam.
No, right. You moving to Iowa.
Yeah. Bye.
I'll stay right here, right? So you got to work all of this stuff out. It ain't just about getting the job.
Facts.
100%.
No, you're right.
100%.
I started 7 years ago. At 13 years, I started doing this LinkedIn thing. So I got 3.5 left. I know what I want to do. I got the connections. I'm debt free.
There you go. Yep.
But I listened. Honestly, that's because I went to LinkedIn and I talked to the people who went through the transition. I listened to you. I made connections with the mill spouses and talked all that type of stuff. That's why, me, Scott, Nadia, and Eddie, we became friends in the comments on LinkedIn, and now then those people have helped me really navigate that space. But
some of my best friends today are people I've never met them in real life.
Yeah,
The people
facts.
people from LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I go to a conference and all of a sudden, I get to meet them. Like, oh shit, what's up? It's like meeting somebody. It's like meeting somebody from the old neighborhood. Like, it's been 20 years. What you doing? Oh, look at you, bro. You look good. You look good.
I love it.
Facts.
Yeah, but you're smart because you did that, and you're smart because you didn't listen to people in uniform telling you how to transition.
Oh yeah. Nope. I was like, yeah, that's great.
The blind leading the blind, baby.
Yeah, the blind
Right.
leading the blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like going to a firefighter and saying, okay, my job in the military is a cook.
Yeah.
Here, let me give you this hose. Let me give you this ladder, and I'll teach you how to make a meatloaf. Get this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? No, I'm gonna go to a chef, bro.
Right.
I'm not gonna go to a firefighter. So, how are you gonna go to somebody who hasn't transitioned yet, who's their entire mentality is keeping you in the military?
Yeah.
Right? And they don't understand about the stress or all that stuff of transitioning out. How are you gonna go to them and ask them for advice?
Right.
Oh, facts.
Yeah.
So
I want to. Here's my last
I'm about
piece.
to say so yeah. So as we close out, Glenn has this question that
Yeah.
he asks
So,
all the guests.
number one, Alfredo, again, I appreciate and I'm very grateful for you blessing the podcast with your presence. Because when it comes to life, it sounds like you've navigated through it and have experienced so much. And we appreciate you sharing just a snippet of your story.
Yep.
When it comes to love, appreciate you sharing the passion that you had going from radio personality to doing what it is that you do today. And leadership, your ability to continue to inspire is inspiring.
Yeah.
And so I want to ask you, life, love, leadership, right? 3 words that are very impactful to life itself. Could you share something with one of those topics, or you could blend all 3 as we close out the episode today? Life, love, or leadership?
they're all interconnected to me. First of all, I'm going to thank you for your kind words. I always, I don't know why you guys reached out. I don't know why you found anything in me that's worth sharing. That's worth. But I appreciate that. Okay, and I'm honored by it. That to think 2 guys across the country don't know shit about me, but could sit there and from a couple LinkedIn posts and a couple videos I might have put up, said, "Wow, you know what? This guy's got some good stuff. Let me." So I appreciate that. Life, love, and leadership. Number 1 is and it all ties in, right? It starts with being yourself and being honest with yourself. We're recording this on a Friday. I wear Paisley shirts on Friday, right? I got this thing, Paisley Friday. I'm all about it,
Yeah.
right? Why? You can't look at a Paisley pattern and not smile, and the world needs to smile more.
I love it.
That's honest, and I've been doing this for years, right? So how does that all play into life, love, and leadership? Well, number 1, let's take it in life, right? I have to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
You know, God didn't put me here, or Muhammad, or Buddha, or whoever you want to believe in, didn't put you here to be miserable. Didn't put you here to break your back and then die.
Yeah.
Right? So I have to be here. I have to enjoy this life, right?
Yeah.
Love. I put this on to show love because I want you to smile. Because you could be having a shitty day and then see its Paisley pattern and smile. And that could be the only smile you get today.
Yeah.
That could also be the smile that turns your day around. And when I say Paisley, bro, I'm not just talking. I got a Paisley pirate coat. I got 3 pairs of Paisley shoes. I got 8 or 9 pairs of, 8 or 9 Paisley jackets. I got Paisley pajamas. I got a Paisley. I'm Paisley. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say here, but you know,
it's in my DNA.
I'm dedicated.
Right, right, and this is something that I believe in. It's spreading love, spreading smiles, because smiles can do so much. And now leadership, right? I ain't worried about what you think about me. I'm me. And leadership comes from being yourself, because if you're your true authentic self, you're going to inspire people. And if you inspire people, you're going to be able to lead people because they want to be with you. They want to do things for you. They want to emulate you so that they can find some kind of success when it's your turn to move on, right? Because how do we live on? You know, the way we live on is through passing, it's through mentorship, right? You're my mentee, so I sit here and I give you all of this beautiful advice to help yourself grow, right? Now I'm dead, but you sit there now and you see the one who's coming up, and you're mentoring them, and you're sitting there speaking my name.
Yeah.
You know, I had a mentor, Alfredo, and this is what he taught me, man, and now I want to teach you. And that's how that's how you live on. That's leadership to me. You know, so it all comes down to this Paisley, life, love, and leadership, right here in this shirt, man.
I love it.
You know, it's not my best. It's not my best one, but you know, I got 70 Paisley shirts, man. This is the one
There
I
you
chose
go.
to wear today.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Alfredo, we appreciate you so much joining us. As always, y'all, like, share, message us, connect with Alfredo. Please tell them where they can find you.
LinkedIn.
That way, LinkedIn. I'm about to say
That's the only place I'm
where it's
at. Yep. Look up Alfredo the Paisley Prince Torres.
Yep. I can co-sign that. But other than that, hey, we appreciate you guys joining us on the L3 Perspective, Life, Love, and Leadership as always, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.